Hey guys, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Had a good scrimmage today. We went out there, obviously got them in a little bit of the heat. We're going to open actually. If you know, we're opening at September 3rd, Oklahoma State at 2:30. So try to get us a little acclimated to that type of weather. We expect it to be the same type of heat. We'll go up there on September 3rd and play. And so up to now, I think we've had a good camp. I think we've continuously gotten better. I think between scrimmage 1 and scrimmage 2, what you're hoping for is there's a massive increase of our just as alignment and assignment, guys knowing their job. There wasn't as much as mental, just straight mental busts. And I thought it was a lot cleaner scrimmage than it was last week. And obviously we're not where we need to be. We're 2 weeks out. We have that 2 weeks. We've really got to clean some things up. And we got and also it's also identifying the guys that are in the can-do category and those guys that again still maybe they may be a couple weeks off. And putting them in the right situations so they can be successful when they do get a chance to get in the game. We're still trying to identify some of that. But there was a lot of positive notes today. Obviously going scrimmage 2. I thought there were some big plays on offense, throwing and catching the ball. I thought that at times there was some really good tackling on defense. I saw there was a lot of plays in there. I liked the way they competed. Our kicking game, we've gone out there probably the best we've kicked the ball all year. Went out there, kicked a couple multiple 50-yard field goals, and that was really great to see. Didn't punt the ball as well as we did last Saturday, but some of it was advocated due to the fact that first 3 punts we had them punting backed up out of the goal line, and I think maybe the jitters got to them a little bit there, but I think we punted a lot better last Saturday, and you want to see that consistency factor on that part too. But I'm pleased with the kicking game as far as where it's going, where we are. And it was our first time really getting units on each other, a kickoff on a KOR. And going on each other and being able to see a live speed and look. So there's going to be a lot of room for improvement, a lot of film to teach off of for special teams wise, which will be huge. Obviously, it always is in the first part of the season. So I'd like to go ahead and open up for questions and stay wherever you want to start at.
Coach, with everything going on this week, with guys volunteering, ripping out sheetrock, doing barbecue relief and all that, how have you kept the focus on football?
I think our guys are doing a good job with that. That part was just, I think, more than anything, I think that's great for our players to do that. I mean, it was really nice to see that we asked for volunteers and, they pop up and do that. You know what I mean? I don't think our guys had any problems with stepping forward and trying to help in the community. Wish we could have done more. I really do. I mean, I think sometimes, it's just, when you start in those things, where do you start? But our guys really stepped forward and did that, did a great job. We had a lot of guys inside our own family there that obviously were affected by the floods. Their families lost their houses and flooded, and just like the rest of Louisiana, a huge portion number, a lot of population did, and I was really proud of our kids the way they stepped up and do that. I think that again, it really helps them really. I think to be grateful for where they're at and sitting in the spots they are with the opportunity to get education, playing college football and be grateful for what they've got. And I think it helps them. It'll be just as much a benefit for us as it was for those people that we helped.
Coach, you said you don't think y'all are where you need to be for the start of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, how far away do you think y'all are?
2 weeks. Yeah, I think we, again, it's not very far off. It's like we get out there and you got 10 guys doing right, one guy makes a mistake. Doesn't do his job, and you just got to be able to clean it up on a consistency factor. We've been preaching that from the get-go about doing your job and being a responsible, accountable guy to the rest of your teammates on that field and stuff. And I think our guys are bought into that and we're ready to go. Today was a huge step. I think it was a huge step forward in that process. Obviously, no, we're not game ready. We're not ready because our goals are to just go out there and for game 1 we want to go out there and play error-free football. Go play assignment football, do our job, get a hat on offense, get the right guys blocked, throw, catch. Defense of getting your gaps, take your guy. We turned a couple guys losing coverage. You just can't do that, if you're going to be game ready and compete at a high level. So I think we're really close. And some of it again was maybe some guys that they're not ready to. They've got those 2 weeks. They need those 2 weeks if they're going to compete and step in there and compete at a high level.
So what are you going to do over the next 2 weeks to get?
Well, we're done with the installation phase. So it's right now. We're done on all that stuff, putting things in. So the next 2 weeks we'll be rehearsing the same things over and over. We're going to get a lot more repetitions at it. A lot of that stuff again will hopefully be they'll be a lot more familiar with it because 2 weeks of doing the same things. And we're going to prep obviously for Oklahoma State starting next week.
What's it kind of like with 2 weeks away? Such a big game, probably one of the biggest games since you've been here, kind of looming over the season.
Well, we haven't really talked to our players much about them yet. I mean, really haven't. So we're really just right now focusing on us and taking care of our own business and making sure we know our own jobs and assignments and what we're doing. But we will obviously coming this week. The attention will focus to Oklahoma State, and what do we got to do to be successful in that ball game.
So you haven't started looking at film or kind of game?
I mean, coaches, yeah, we looked at, yeah, we coaches have seen it, and we've popped a little bit in, to the kids, but we really haven't like designed a practice around or anything like that, doing anything they've done. So we're really just, again, like most part in any camp, you're just focused on yourself and doing your job, and now we got to be catered to doing your job based off of what they're doing. So we'll be able to cater to a lot more, and I think, especially if we do some difficult things on offense. I mean, we do a lot of difficult things. I think that defensively it had to slow us down a little bit to prepare for our own guys, just get function in practice. I think we do some difficult things on defense, and again for our offense, it's difficult for them. But sometimes when you start throwing in some other people, things slow down a little bit, and hopefully we'll get in a situation where it's easier to get our assignments done.
Coach, early on today, it looked like you were running the ball early, and then something like halfway through, something like a switch flipped and the defense stepped up. Did you say anything to them?
No, I know. Again, the whole thing was from the get-go. Was first couple series, I was just doing your job. You know what I mean? It's an unselfish game, and that's one of the things young guys got to realize. It's an unselfish game. You know what I mean? Don't do somebody else's job because you're not doing yours. And the great defenses I've been around understood that. And we're still in the process of learning that. But I think we're close. I think we're real close to getting there.
I had, by my numbers, 11 tackles for loss and 8 sacks today. Does that seem more like the defense really stepping up, or are there some problems in the offense?
Again, sometimes we got them in some third and longs there. Obviously, that's not a good situation to be in. So you do that, and we are a pressure defense. So you get in third and long, we're gonna have some fun. So. Again, in games, we would try to do everything we do to stay out of those situations. So I thought the times we did, we protected, we threw the ball well. We had a couple tackles out also. There's a couple offensive tackles out in the game. We had a couple guys that didn't go. And we had 3 offensive tackles didn't go, and nose guard didn't go in the game today. So, you're evaluating the guys that are out there.
So you wouldn't say that the defense is too far ahead of the offense right now?
I don't know if I'd say they're too far ahead. No, I wouldn't say that. But in nature, really, of football, usually right now, defenses are usually ahead. That's just a given fact. It takes offensively, it takes you a couple weeks to get your timing down with receivers to throw the ball and protections and everything right. Usually, I don't think anywhere in America usually take your defense your big defense better be ahead of your offense first couple weeks. If they're not, you usually probably got some problems. You've got some problems on defense.
Comments on quarterback position coming into 2016?
Say that again?
Some comments on your quarterback coming into the new year.
Yeah. Again, I thought, without watching the film, I thought, all 3 of them I thought played really well today. And I thought that coming in, our goal really coming in is to try to get 3 of them, because in college football anymore, you got to be able to play with 2. And to be safe, you need to have 3 that can function. I think we came in the season thinking we got 3 that can function. And then I turn around today, and then Deshae throws 4 touchdown passes. So I threw the ball well. It's huge. I thought we made some big plays at receiver, and that's what we got to do. You got to give the guy a little bit of help too. And I thought we found the guys that can do that. So.
Coach, your first game here was that Mizzou game. It was kind of a big one. What do you kind of remember from that day?
I remember most about Mizzou is that we didn't practice that week. Remember we had a hurricane. And we were getting guys back on campus on Thursday to fly out on Friday morning. We had to move our flight to Baton Rouge. So I was just glad to show up, That was probably a rough game. That was my opening game here, yeah. We did not practice that week. And it kind of showed on Saturday. So, but that was a great environment, great place to play. It was a great experience for our kids. But I don't think it was very good a performance on our part, obviously. We don't want to repeat that.
Does this feel like the biggest game you've had since then, this Oklahoma State? No,
not really. It's a big game. It's going to be a great place to play. You're going to play very talented people. You're going to see a great football team with a lot of tradition. Those parts, I mean, heck, if you ask me, I mean, I don't know, the big games we're going to play are going to obviously be in conference play. Those are the ones that mean the most to me. You know, I think it's all about conference and what you can do there. What this will be is a huge, I mean, I think when you play in the FBS teams, it's a huge test for you to find out, especially guys of this caliber. We're going to find out in this game really where we are on a national scale. Can we compete nationally? Because if you can compete nationally, then you should be able to go compete with anybody in the country, you know, if you're going to do that at FCS. And so the biggest things, you know, obviously, you don't want to put too much on it. So, but I'm looking for us to just go out there and play clean. Do your job. Do your job, do your assignment, you know, don't let the stage be too big for you. And if you do that, we're going to be in good shape. You know, they always say, you know, more games are lost than are won. They're lost because guys make a lot of mistakes. And if we just go out there and take care of our own business and do our own thing, you know, do what we're supposed to do and do our jobs, play pretty clean football, and we're going to be in good shape. We're going to be competitive. And we're going to be in that ball game with a chance to win it.
Coach, last year you opened up with a conference game to start the year.
Yeah.
This year you open up with 2 nons before you start the
Yep.
conference. Do you like that better, or do you mind, or does it bother?
Yeah, I'd rather not open with conference play. I mean, I like the idea of getting 2 games, work some kinks out, you know, find out who can play. You get like in these games, we're going to play, and we're going to try to go up there, and we're going to try to play a lot of guys. We're going to play a lot of guys. We try to evaluate them. Who can step up on game day and make plays for us? Who can step up and do their job? Who's going to elevate their level of play? So when we get a chance to get to conference play, we know who our guys are, you know. So I would much rather play whatever 2 preseason games and then go into your conference play.
Because you had mentioned, I think you're missing 3 offensive tackles today.
Yeah.
Are any of those serious?
No, they should all be back. Hopefully they'll all be back this week. You know, a sprain here, one's a shoulder, waiting for a brace to come in. He'll come in, he'll be fine. So I think they should all 3 practice this week.
So you're expecting to be relatively?
Yeah, they should all be fine. I think they'll all be fine, and all be back on the field. So.
Coach, speaking of offensive line, you got Travis Michael back this year coaching the offensive line, a guy you're very comfortable with. What have you seen from that unit so far? Because they're a very important part of the football.
Yeah, I think that, you know, again, I think the guys up there understand what we're trying to get done. You know what I mean? We need a mentality to be able to run the football, a physicalness, you know, and obviously making sure that we know we're all in this thing together, you know. And I think, you know, Travis he's a team guy, and he understands that. And, you know, the best thing about him has been that, you know, his players play hard for him, and it's always been an earmark of what he does on the field. And his players are going to play really hard, and they're going to play very physical. They skipped you a couple times. You ready?
Coach, I know it's early in the season, but do you believe this team can win the Southland Conference Championship?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. We got a long road for that, you know. But I think what I've said multiple times, I think already, is that we've got all the tools in place. You know, if you're going to win a championship, it depends on what you do between now and, you know, what are we going to do between now and November? You know, are we going to continue to get better on a week-to-week basis? If you don't, then you don't have a shot. You know, we got to progress every week. We got to get better. That's the biggest thing with these first 2 games. The thing is, what do we do? Do we go in there and we're going to make some mistakes, but do we learn from the mistakes? Do we learn from mistakes? We continue to get better. Do we correct the mistakes? If you do that, we're going to be in great shape. You know, you talk about the first top 4 or 5 teams in the conference. They're all going to have a shot. You first got to say who's got the talent level to win it. You know, and usually it's going to be about 4 or 5 teams got the talent level to win the thing. And then what's going to separate them is usually going to be based off of how they progress throughout the season. You know, if you don't get better on a week-to-week basis, and you got to get on a roll in October, and you got to be playing consistent football every time you line up, and you got to be playing your best football. And you know, I think if we do that, you know, so I think everything's in place to do that. You know, we're gonna have to see how it develops over the next 5 weeks.
Coach, you'd also said the 2:30 start. Are you adjusting practice this week or the next couple of weeks at all to kind of deal with that heat?
No, we can't really. We don't have much play really because of our class schedule and stuff. But we will probably, you know, next Saturday we'll go earlier again, trying to get ready to that. I mean, I expect the heat to be about the same. Obviously, the humidity is not going to be the same. So if we can accommodate, you know, this the heat here and the humidity, I think we'll be in good shape. I think we're going to go up there, and our kids, like in our experience with it in the past, is that you go somewhere else, and the next thing is they breathe a little easier and they feel the difference. Heat may be the same, but they're going to run a little longer. They're going to last a lot longer.